Hello and welcome to day 5 of my July vlogs. I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video today, and I'm going to be sharing with you my TBR for the What Victoria Read Summer Reading Challenge. So I've just had a day where I've just not had the chance to pick up the camera, and I wanted to share this TBR with you anyway, so I thought I would use this opportunity to sit and chat with you a little bit about the books that I'm planning on reading over the summer. So the reading challenge started in June, and I read a couple of books in June which I'll get to later, but now I'm hoping to really kind of up my reading so that I can get through the rest of the prompts. I think there are 25 prompts. Finished 2 already. A couple of them I haven't picked my book that I'm going to read for them, because I thought I'll give myself a couple of slots to choose later so that I can have a bit of a mood read, and I might swap some of these around because some of them would fit into multiple categories. So I'm just going to get stuck in and I'll read you the prompt and tell you which book I'm going to be reading. I've got the author names of most of the books, but a few of them I haven't been able to find the author name when I've quickly just got everything together, because some of them I'm reading on my Kindle, some of them I'm listening to an audiobook, and I just haven't collated all of the information together. But if I don't sit down now, then I won't have time to sit down. I've just realised that I've got one more book on my bookshelf that I haven't picked up, so I'm going to go and get that and then I'll be back. I'm sat in a really weird spot, but it's the only spot in the house. And I want to apologise if my children are being too noisy, but they are just on 100 today, and there's nothing I can do about it. They're just going to be loud today. I'm going to leave a link down below to Victoria's video where she goes through all of the prompts, and she links in her description all of the booktubers that are that inspire the different prompts. And then I'll also put together a list on bookshop.org of all of the books that I intend to read for the challenge. So if you wanted to go over and buy one of the books that you see from bookshop.org, then you can do, and that will be an affiliate link, so if you do buy through that link, then I'll get a small amount of money, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So that's there if you would like to, and thank you very much if you do use that. So the first prompt is a non-fiction book, and for that I've picked a book that I'm listening to on Audible, or that I will listen to on Audible, called Your Child Isn't Broken, and it's about having an autistic or an ADHD or otherwise neurodivergent child, and I thought that was going to be really interesting. It's about a 4-hour long book. Thought it would be really interesting to listen to. I'm late diagnosed autistic, and we suspect that Aidan might be ND in some way, and so I thought that would be a really interesting book to listen to. I need to get around to doing that because I think it would be I think it's going to be a good, interesting listen. The next prompt is a cosy fiction, and I have picked Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry, and this is, I think it's a prequel to Legends and Lattes, which I read last year and really enjoyed, and I thought this would be another cosy fun book to read with the same characters, so, or well, with the same main character, and I assume there's going to be some of her the people from her past in it as well. So yeah, excited to read that. I've had this on my TBR for a long time, so I'm excited to get on and read it. I've got it on Kindle as well, so I might actually read the Kindle version, because I find that I read much faster on the Kindle. So, but that is what the book looks like. It's very pretty. I'm as yet undecided if I'm going to buy a physical copy of Legends and Lattes and like have these, and like keep these, or whether I might just, once I've read this one, I'll just unhaul the physical version. I don't know. Undecided. But that's the next one. After that, my phone keeps turning off. It's very annoying. The next book on my list is another book that I've had in my on my TBR for a little while. And it was, I think it came out last year or the year before. Oh god, no, it came out in 2022. Oh my god, time flies. And that is Oxblood by Tom Benn. I think I've mentioned this on my channel before. Tom Benn is an author that lives locally, and he's from, I want to say he's from Manchester. I need to check, because if he's from, oh, he's from Stockport, so that's fine. I can say Manchester and get away with it, I think. But it's set in Manchester, and I'm from like town just outside of Manchester, and so I'm interested to read this. I did start reading it and just didn't give it the time to get into it. I like the way that it's written from what I've read so far. I like the way that it's written with some like Mancunian ways of speaking. So yeah, I read it in like a sort of Mancunian accent in my head. So so I'm excited to get to that one, and it's not very long, but I believe it's going to be quite a like hard hitting one. Like, I think it's one of those books that is just like, you're glad you read it, but it's hard to read it. So I'm preparing myself for that. Next on the prompt list is international author, and I thought that was like quite a wide prompt. Like, there's lots of options for that, so I thought I'll leave that open and let myself sort of be inspired as the summer goes on, and maybe see what pops up that interests me. Next is fantasy / romantasy, and I have picked Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I spoke about this in my bookish update recently. I am now getting into it. If you saw yesterday's vlog, I was reading it yesterday evening, and I'm getting into it, really enjoying it. And so I thought this would definitely fit fantasy. I put it in because I thought it was also going to be romantasy, and there's definitely been some like romancy type feels, but I don't know if it's technically a romance type book, but definitely is going to fit the fantasy side of that prompt. So that's that one. It's also quite a big book, so I think I'm probably going to have to read some things alongside it to try and keep on track. Next prompt is a retelling, and I have chosen The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and this is a retelling of a Korean legend, so I'm hoping that this counts for a retelling. It would also count for a prompt that's later down that's beautiful book, which I don't think I've got one for yet. So if I read it and feel like it's not a retelling, then I can always like slip it in for beautiful book and find something else for retelling. But I've had this again on my shelf for a really long time, and it has intrigued me and I would like to read it. So now is the time. Next is classic fiction, and I've written I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith on the list, and that's me just assuming that that counts as a classic, but I don't know if it does, so I need to check that out, and if it doesn't, then I need to rethink that one. I do like Little Women, which is a classic, so I could reread that. I have read I Capture the Castle. I listened to it on Audible and really enjoyed it, so it would be a reread for me, which isn't something that I do very often. I'm not much of a rereader, so but I would like to reread it, so it would be great if it did count as a classic. But if it doesn't, I also plan to read The Phantom Tollbooth, which I think maybe counts as a classic children's fiction, so we'll see. So that one might be one that I need to do a little bit more thinking about, but those are my thoughts at the moment. So I Capture the Castle, Little Women, or The Phantom Tollbooth. The next prompt is borrowed book. I haven't put anything down for that. I don't read a lot of library books just because I tend to my like reading speed is quite varied, so sometimes I can be through a book really quickly and other times it's going to take me a long time to read a book, and the pressure of having one from the library really stresses me out. So I'm waiting until there's something that kind of takes my fancy that I really want to read, and then I'll get it out of the library. But I've got so many other books that I have a physical copy of right now that I'm gonna wait on that one. The other option is that I borrow an audiobook from one of my apps like Libby or BorrowBox or something, and do that. I could. Oh, we can't use the same. We can't use one book for multiple prompts, so so I can't like cheat and just borrow one of these books, which was going to be my other possible. But yeah, so that one I've left blank just to give myself a little bit of like an option. The next prompt is second-hand book. I have read a second-hand book since the beginning of this challenge, and that was The House We Grew Up In by Lisa Jewell. I have now unhauled that, so I haven't got a copy to hold up. I gave it to my mother-in-law, and that is a book about a woman who's a hoarder and the impact that that has on her life and her relationships. It was really, really good. Would definitely recommend it. I wouldn't say that it was like classic Lisa Jewell book. It didn't have quite the Lisa Jewell vibe that Lisa Jewell books normally have, but it was still really, really good. So I would definitely recommend it if you like Lisa Jewell books, but maybe you're looking for something a little bit different. Yeah, I spoke about that as well in my bookish update, but I think I basically just said everything that I said in that video. So next is historical fiction, and I can thank Paula at Stitched by Mrs. D for this one, because I was a bit stumped about what I was going to be reading for this one, and then she talked about a few books that she'd read recently in one of her vlogs, one of her June vlogs I think it was, and she had read The Nightingale by Kristen Hannah, and she said she really, really enjoyed it. And this is historical fiction, and it's set in France in 1940 during World War II, and like if I'd read the back I probably wouldn't have picked it up, but when Paula was explaining it, it did sound interesting. And yeah, my only concern is when I opened the book, the text is tiny and I'm like, oh gosh, and it's like over 400 pages. So maybe some of it is, oh no, it is over 400 pages. So that's going to be like, this is a preview of another book. So that's the whole book. So I'm a bit like, ooh, that's a bit intimidating, but it did sound like a really enjoyable book. So thank you, Paula, for mentioning that in your videos, and yeah, looking forward to getting round to that one. Next is romance. I was like a bit stuck with this one as well at first, and then I just went through my Kindle to have a look if I had anything that I thought fit the bill, and I think I'm going to read Dungeons and Drama by Kirsty Boyce. I've had this on my Kindle a year or so, and I did start reading it and then I just stopped reading it because I think something else came up. But I'm pretty sure that's a romance. It's got that very kind of like, it's got that front cover that looks very romancy, where it's like the man and the woman and they're like oh, looking at each other, and then there's like stuff all around them. You see lots of them in Waterstones where someone's wearing ice skates and someone else is holding like a hockey stick or something. It's got that vibe on the front, so I'm assuming that it is a romance, and hopefully that will fit that one. Next is a travel book, and I've left this one free as well because I checked on Victoria's video and she said that that one's got quite a sort of, she's very flexible with how you interpret the prompts, and so for a travel book it could be something like a book about travel. You know, like maybe if you're going on holiday you could read a book about the country you're going on holiday to and that would count, or maybe like a Bill Bryson or something where someone's travelled somewhere and they're writing about their travel there. But it could also be something like Lord of the Rings where it's the whole book is about a journey. So I thought I'll leave that one blank because I haven't got any ideas right now, but again it seems like the kind of prompt that could have quite a wide selection of books, so I thought I'll leave that free and see how I feel on that one. Next is a free space, like a self-care free space, where again when I checked on Victoria's video she said that if we just had a book that we wanted to read, we didn't fit in with any of the prompts and we just needed to get it in somewhere, that this was a space to do that. And then today when I was in Waterstones I picked up The Tenant by Frida McFadden, and I have read a couple of Frida McFadden books and really enjoyed them, and I've seen a couple of people reading this and enjoying it, and it seems like the kind of book that when I'm feeling like in a bit of a slump, this is going to be the kind of book that will like pull me out, because I've found that her books have been quite quick paced, and so assuming that this is anything like, I think, is it the Housemaid? Is that what it was called? The Housemaid is Watching, I think. I can probably look in here, it's probably listed in here, isn't it? It's the, yeah, The Housemaid, The Housemaid's Secret, The Housemaid is Watching. Those are the books I've read before, and it was really, they were really good and really, yeah, fast paced, read them in a couple of days kind of books. So I thought that this would be another good one to quickly like throw in when I feel like I'm going slow. Next one is Crime / Mystery. I don't have a copy of this book yet because it isn't out yet. It comes out on the 17th of July, and that is The Case of Life and Limb by Sally Smith. In my bookish update I spoke about The Case of Mice and Murder, which was her first book and in this series, and now the next one is due to come out very soon, and that was another one that was really good. Really sort of quick, fast-paced read. Really looking forward to that one coming out. We've got it pre-ordered. Yeah, so I don't have it yet, but that's fine. Hopefully I can get a book read before that one comes, and then I can read that one. Next is a manga / graphic novel. I'm going to read Monstrous. My Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. It's really pretty. I can't remember why I picked it up, but I did at some point, and yeah, I don't read a lot of graphic novels, but I have this one. I haven't read it, so it's perfect opportunity to read it. I'm not imagining that I'm necessarily going to continue with the series, but I have it, I might as well read it, and then I can decide, can't I? Next is something off a backlist, the backlist, which means apparently that it's like not a new release, so it's like an older book. So I picked The Girls by Lisa Jewell. Love a Lisa Jewell book. This is probably going to fill the same sort of need as the Frida McFadden book, where if I feel like I'm slumping a bit, going a bit slow, I can pull out a Lisa Jewell book, and it's like a sure way of getting me back into reading, because I usually read through her books really quickly. I've got a couple of books in here that don't belong in this pile of books. Right, next is self/indie published book. I am going to read Imperfect Shot, which is book 2 in the Cricket Chronicles, I think, by Ryan Fletcher, who is also Gamer Crafting, for any knitters and crafters out there who know Gamer Crafting. And I have read the first book in this series already and really enjoyed it. It was a really quick read. So this again seems like the perfect opportunity to read the second book in the series. Next prompt is middle grade/YA. I've got a couple of options for this. I've got Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which I've read before and really enjoyed but can't really remember anything about. And I would like to reread it. So I have a copy and I might choose this one, but it's quite long. And then another one is Air of Storm by Lauren Hamilton Murray. I know nothing about this one, picked it up in Waterstones. It was like on a buy one get one half price deal, and so I thought, why not? I was buying something anyway, might as well get one half price. And it sounded interesting on the back, and it's pretty on the side. It's got a sprayed edge, which is definitely, and it's beautiful. I mean, look at it. So maybe I can add this for my beautiful book if I decide that I want to read this but also read one of my other middle grade/YA books. So there's those two as an option, and another one that I got is called Mayowa, and I can't show it to you right now because it's in the children's room there in the middle of reading it at bedtime. And I saw Victoria picked up a copy in Waterstones at some point as well, and that reminded me that we had a copy. So I might read that one, which sounds really interesting. So there's 3 options for that one, just depending on how I'm feeling. I feel like Mayowa will be a quicker read because I think that falls into like middle grade, whereas these two are both YA, so probably going to be a bit longer of a read. So depending on how much time I have will depend on what I choose. Also, if the boys haven't finished reading it by the time finish reading Mayowa, by the time I need to read it, then I can't pick that one. I'll have to pick something else. So next prompt is beautiful book. I've shown you a couple of beautiful books. I also saw a really beautiful book when I was in Waterstones today. It's like an exclusive special copy of a book that I think I've heard of but I don't know anything about. If I got a clip of it, a bit of video of it, I'll pop it in so you can see how beautiful it is. And I might get it for the absolute beauty of the book, but I think it was a bit of a tome, so I don't know if I'll be able to read that in the time that we've got. But I have other beautiful books. There are lots of beautiful books in the world. I will find something to read in that prompt. Next prompt is a BIPOC author, and I am listening to How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Mbui, and this is about a African village, a fictional African village, where basically like the water supply is being destroyed and people are getting ill because of oil mining. So it's really interesting. It is fictional, but obviously not entirely fictional. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about an hour, just over an hour in, and just haven't found the time to like give it yet. It's not the kind of book that I've tried to listen to it whilst I'm doing the dishes or while I've been driving, but I want to focus on it more than those activities like allow me to. So I think it needs to be something that I do when I'm like maybe just knitting something simple, but also want to be reading. So I have to find the right time to listen to that, but so far I am really enjoying it. Next is translated book. Which one have I picked for this? I have picked Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And I did start this a little while ago and just I was enjoying it and I just stopped reading it. So I'm going to start it again because it's not very long. Less than 200 pages, just over 200 pages. It's not long. It was enjoyable, but I feel like I need to understand what's going on. I need to go back to the beginning. So that's that one. And if you haven't heard of this, I've heard about this quite a lot, so I just assumed that you probably knew what it was about, but this is about a cafe where you can go and then you can sit in a certain seat and you can... Do you travel back in time? But you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. I've probably not explained that very well. Maybe I'll be able to explain it better once I've read it. But I've heard a couple of people talk about it and it sounded really intriguing. So I'm going to read that one. And then big book, 400 plus pages. I have put a placeholder book in here because I'm thinking it's going to be Human Rights by Juno Dawson, which comes out on the 17th of July. But I'm going to listen to the audiobook. So I'm kind of like not sure if it will count. Do I have to read the pages in order for it to count? Because it's a 512 page book. And I have listened to all of the books up till this point. So it feels like I should just listen to the last one. But I want to know if we think it counts. Because I'm still taking the whole book in and listening to it for the amount of time that it takes to read a 512 page book. Let me know what you think down below. Victoria, if you are watching this video, does it count if I listen to the book? Thank you very much. And also I want to check that it is 512 pages because I looked in a couple of places. A couple of places wouldn't tell me how many pages it was, and then it was just like, you know, an AI search thing that said 512, so I don't know where it's got that number from. So I'll have to check before I commit myself to that one. Next is Animal on the Cover, and I am reading The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa. This is part of my collection of books with cats on the front. And another one that I started reading and then just stopped, and I don't know why, because it was sweet, I was enjoying it. So yeah, I don't really know anything about it. I bought it because the cover is beautiful. I've got this book in my TBR. I don't know. Maybe this was my beautiful book. I don't know, I'm holding it like that. A Magic Steeped in Poison. That's a possibility for a beautiful book because it is very, very pretty. I'm going to leave it in the bag. I've got a little bag that lives on my bedside table, and it's really nice to just have it there with a selection of books in that I know I want to get to. So when I'm feeling like, what should I read next? I can just go there and choose a book. I'm going to put it in a separate pile, but close by. Because I want this to be for books I'm definitely using for the read along, or the reading challenge. So that when I do pick one, I pick like one that's definitely being used. Next is a seasonal book. Again, I thought this was probably going to be quite a good one to leave blank and just go with what I feel when I see something that I like the look of. I'll just pick that up. And then the final prompt is a queer book, so a book by a queer author or a book with queer themes. And I have done this one already. I read Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. It was which one was it? I think it was just called Nick and Charlie. I have unhauled it already, so I haven't got it here, but it was a really sweet book. I talked about it more in my bookish update, so I'll leave a link to that down below if you would like to hear more about that book. But it was lovely, and if you have read the Heartstopper series and you weren't aware that Alice Oseman has done like novellas, have a look because it was very sweet. I really enjoyed it. And that's it. I brought my Kindle up, but I don't know why, because I don't think I've got anything on here that I'm reading. Oh, I suppose there will be a few on here that I'm reading on Kindle version, so that's why that's there. But now I'm going to pop all of these back into my TBR bag, and then I'm going to hold it up so that I can get my thumbnail. And then I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to start cooking some tea for the small people in my life, and going to do a bit of reading while the food cooks. So, oh, I'm not going to fit all of my books in here. Or can I squeeze it in? Can I squeeze it? Oh, yes. Oh, here we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10 of my 25 books are in this, which feels like a manageable TBR. Like, I know that there are 25 prompts, but just seeing 10 books feels like a manageable number. And then knowing that the other books are going to be from other places, yeah, feels doable. Feels doable. So I've got, you know, just under 2 months to read 23 books. That actually sounds crazy when I say it like that, but some of them are really short. Some of them are on audiobook, so I can read those at the same time as other books. So yeah, very doable. Let's see if I can get a good... There we go. Right, there we go. So that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been an okay video. I hope I didn't talk too quickly, but I really wanted to keep it to the point because I could have talked for hours about books. So hopefully I was coherent. Like I say, I'm going to make a list on the bookshop.org, and I'll pop that in the description box down below, so that you can see all the books that I'm reading. And I'll probably make a list on my Storygraph as well, so if you just want to see the information, and you can see it there. Leave my Storygraph down below. I'll leave links to what Victoria read's video down below, and yeah, that's it. Hello, Rory. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for day 6 of July Vlogs. Bye!